It is week 10 of the NFL season. Time to make our confidence picks. Let's go. And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch these videos. All right, it is time to make our confidence picks. So, what we do every single week, we pick every single game on the NFL schedule. We don't pick against the spread. No, we pick winners. And picking winners is exactly what we did in week 9. We went 11-3, very good record, 86 points total. And for the season, we have 80 wins to 56 losses, 733 points. Now for our overall ranking, we are now in the 83.2 percentile. That's up 3.4% from last weekend. Major improvement. Happy to be above the 80% mark. And this week we're going to try to take it even higher. So there's 14 games on the schedule. We're going to pick the winner in every single game and rank them from 14, the game we got the most confidence in, to 1, the game we've got the least confidence in. Let's get right to it. The game I've got the most confidence in, my number 14, I think is just about everybody's number 14. It is the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, I'm taking I'm taking the Cowboys. You kidding me? The Cowboys are that classic bully team, and there is not a team more ripe for it than the New York Football Giants. Cowboys coming off a classic heartbreaker in Philadelphia. The Giants, their point differential this year is minus 116 points. Tommy DeVito from Goodfellas will be starting at quarterback. The game is in Arlington. It's a division opponent. It's not close. Cowboys win by 20. That's probably being kind. My number 13 game is going to be the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. I think the Bills are getting to a time of desperation right now. They have a very hard schedule, especially after this Denver game. They need to have it. So just to give you an idea of what the Buffalo defense is doing, through their first 4 weeks, they were allowing 288 yards per game. Since week 5, they are averaging 371 yards allowed per game. It's gone up 83 yards per game. It is crazy. Now, you never know really what you'll see with Denver. They could give up 70 points to Miami, or they can shut down the Chiefs, but I think the Bills are desperate. I don't think they're going to take Denver for granted. I think they win this game. All right, number 12, the Green Bay Packers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So here's some random stats about Pittsburgh that just shows you how crazy their season is. The Steelers are the 34th team in the history of the NFL to be outgained in all of their first 8 games this season. Of those 34 teams, the Steelers are the only one to have a winning record after 8 games. Absolutely crazy. And since 2022, the NFL has... since 2022, the Steelers have the most wins with 7 in the NFL, trailing after 3 quarters. They shouldn't be winning at the rate they are, but they still are, and that's a credit to Mike Tomlin and the coaching staff. They have 16 takeaways on the season for their defense. That spells bad news for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Love is still a mystery. The offense, very young, has been looking for direction the whole season, especially during the time when Aaron Jones was hurt. And the 3 teams that actually have beaten the Steelers this year, they left no room for middle ground. They won by an average of 19 points. I don't trust Green Bay to be that dominant in Pittsburgh. All right, so give me the Steelers at home. All right, number 11. This game is now already in the books. The Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears, the Thursday night game. I was all in favor of just canceling the game, giving each team a tie, and let's move on. But I picked the Bears, which I was correct on, and the main reason why was the Bears' run game against the Panthers' run defense. The Panthers had surrendered the 5th most rushing yards per game this year, and the Bears are averaging 135 rushing yards per game. 4th best number in the league, plus no Brian Burns on the defensive line, no C.J. Henderson in the secondary for Carolina. So, yeah, I was very confident in the Bears, and that pick proved to be correct. All right. Number 10, the Houston Texans at the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati, this is what they do. They start slow the first couple of weeks and then they get rolling. But since week 5, which was the start of their winning streak, they have scored touchdowns on 42% of their first half drives. Joe Burrow is healthy. He is getting better by the week. 75% completion percentage over his last 4 games. Now, they got some issues at wide receiver, and that's why I'm only giving this a 10. Jamar Chase has a bad back. T. Higgins will not play in this game. Another blow to my fantasy team. Thanks, T. Appreciate it. But don't forget the Cincinnati defense. Through 8 games, the Bears rank 4th in the NFL with forcing turnovers on 17% of the offense's drives. Now, here's the thing. They're facing Houston, coming off a very dramatic, very impressive win that put C.J. Stroud, their rookie quarterback, on the map. And Houston's only turned the ball over 5 times. But can C.J. Stroud do what he did last week? Can he do it again on the road in the jungle? I think this is going to be a little dose of reality for Houston. While I'm impressed with what they've been doing, I think they've got more games they're going to win this season. I think this is a little bit too tough of a spot for them. So I'm picking Cincy with my 10 pick. And then on to my number 9 with another game that features an AFC North team or 2. The Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, he is a legitimate MVP candidate. He is completing 71.5% of his passes, best in the league. He has 440 rushing yards, the most of any quarterback in the NFL. And the defense of the Ravens is allowing a league-low 13.8 points per game. They have a league-high 35 sacks as well. But Cleveland's got a pretty good defense as well. They are allowing just 234 yards per game. That's the best in the league. I expect a lot of field goals. And you know what? Dustin Hopkins, he has been about as good as any kicker in the league this year, right up there with Justin Tucker. Here's the thing. I just can't trust Deshaun Watson on the road against this Baltimore defense. Cleveland also has the second worst third down percentage on offense. Of course, well ahead of the Jets, but still the second worst. And I think at home, Baltimore takes this game. So with my 9 pick, I'm taking the Ravens. My number 8 game, the Detroit Lions at the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. I'm taking the Lions on the road. Now, the thing with the Lions, they have 6 victories, and 5 of them have come against teams with losing records. But now you've got the Chargers' absolutely porous pass defense going against the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Now you've added Donovan Peoples-Jones as well. Jameson Williams hasn't done a whole lot, but that whole core could cook this week. I really think they could. Here's another big factor. For the first time since week 1, the entire Detroit Lions offensive line is healthy and will be playing. You got Detroit coming off a bye, and you got the Chargers coming off a short week. I'm taking the Lions. Number 7, the San Francisco 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm taking the Niners. I know Jacksonville has won 5 straight, and San Francisco hasn't won a game since October 8th. Okay, San Francisco, not deep, but when they're healthy, they're as talented as any team in the league. Jacksonville, they're tied for the league lead in takeaways with turnovers. And Josh Allen, man, the linebacker having the best year of his career, 9 sacks, 48 quarterback pressures. But the offense is struggling in the red zone, just a 47% success rate. I think coming off 3 losses, San Francisco needed the bye much more than Jacksonville did. And Deebo Samuel and Brock Purdy should be healing up. Trent Williams may be back at left tackle. Plus, don't forget, the Niners have added Chase Young. This will be his 49ers debut. I'm taking Frisco. Number 6, the Washington Commandskins at the Seattle Seahawks. Washington, I seem to mention it every week. How many sacks have they given up now? At this point, Washington has allowed 44 sacks. They are on pace for an all-time record. But the Seahawks offense is struggling. They have averaged only 15 points per game since their Week 5 bye. The Seahawks rank 30th in third down conversion on both offense and defense. But it's a home game against that terrible offensive line. I think it's a get-right game for Seattle, who's 5-3. Not overly confident, but I'm taking Seattle in this game. Number 5. Sunday night, the New York Jets at the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's my thought. I'm taking the Raiders as much as I don't want to. If the Jets play just mediocre on offense, they should absolutely win this game. But I cannot trust them anymore after watching 5 putrid games in a row on offense. Now, with the Raiders, How long can the emotional high from Antonio Pierce and Aiden O'Connell last? New quarterback, new head coach. It's a new lease on life for the Raiders. You know, they are feeling themselves up. They are very, very excited. Came out, smoked a terrible Giants team at home last week. Now they got a little tougher challenge with this Jets defense. It's going to be interesting to see if the Oakland offensive line can contain the Jets' pass rush. But on the other side, you have a battered Jets O-line trying to contain Max Crosby, who has 9.5 sacks, second most in the league. Now, I know Crosby has a little bit of a knee injury. He has been very limited in practice this week. But still, I just don't see that the Jets' offensive line can contain him. And until I see better play from Zach Wilson, better play calling, better offensive line play, I don't know when I'm going to be able to pick the Jets again. That's how down I am on this offense right now. So I'm taking the Raiders with my 5 pick. Number 4, the Colts at the Patriots in Germany. This game feels pretty wonky to me. This one's weird. The Patriots are 3-0 in Europe. I know the offense stinks. They're 31st in points per game with just 15. Somehow the Colts are scoring over 25 points a game on offense, which is amazing. But Gardner Minshew, he has never faced Bill Belichick in his career, and he's been very, very prone to turning the ball over. You got to factor that in. I see a low-scoring game. I just think the Colts have a little bit more talent. I'm going to say they take it. My number 3 game, the New Orleans Saints at the Minnesota Vikings. Wow. No Kirk Cousins, no Justin Jefferson, but they got the Pastronaut in Josh Dobbs. You know, in starting the season 1-4, Minnesota had a -9 turnover ratio. Absolutely terrible. Since those first 4 weeks, the Vikings are tied for the 3rd best turnover ratio, +4 in the league. Plus, their defense their offense, I should say, leads the league in points off turnovers with 38. So Minnesota's really turned themselves around. The Saints, though, they've got a great defense, especially the secondary, forcing tons of turnovers. And their offense, not working so great. They're 45% in the red zone. I think it's a tight game. I definitely think it comes down to the last drive. But I'm going to go with the Saints on the road to pull this one out. Number 2 game, the Atlanta Falcons at the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray is back. I expect he'll be a little rusty like Deshaun Watson. But the Atlanta offense, they have been turning the football over a lot. They're one of 3 teams with 11 turnovers or more, along with Chicago and Arizona. Now, I think that gets helped a little bit putting Taylor Heinicke in a quarterback. But I wonder where Atlanta is after that heartbreaking loss last weekend. I'm taking Arizona in an upset, getting a little spark from Kyler Murray. Not saying confident, that's why it's my number 2 pick. But there's always one game that make a whole lot of sense each week. I'm going to say Arizona wins. And finally, number 1. The biggest toss-up for me is the Tennessee Titans at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, Nick Folk, I want to give him some props right now. 19 for 19 on field goals. He's doing great, but he's needed to be great because the Tennessee offense is scoring touchdowns on just 34% of their visits to the red zone. What makes that so notable is that for 4 years, from 2019 to 2022, the Titans were converting 70% of their red zone trips into touchdowns. Now, Will Levis at the starting quarterback. He's going against Tampa Bay, who have dropped 4 games in a row. Okay? Now, will Tampa actually allow themselves to get schooled by a rookie quarterback for the 2nd straight week? Back at home, I say no. I think Tampa Bay takes this game from Tennessee. So give me Tampa with my number 1 pick. All right, guys, those are my confidence picks. Let me know what you think. Put your predictions right down there in the comments. Do you have any upset specials in mind? Any games you feel particularly confident about? Any games that are toss-ups? Love to see what you have to say. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.